Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you found a single old penny in your drawer right now and someone told you it could change your life forever, would you believe it, or would you laugh it off before taking a second look that might just reveal the greatest discovery in modern coin collecting history? Because today we are talking about the 1982 1-cent coin that collectors claim could reach a jaw-dropping face value of $148 million due to extremely rare mistakes, mysterious variations, and minting errors that appear only under the most unusual circumstances. And we will dive into every possibility, every flaw, every strange detail, and every numismatic twist that makes this specific year so legendary in the world of American cents, where a simple shift in metal composition, die alignment, strike pressure, weight differences, and transitional anomalies created a perfect storm of rarity that continues to fascinate experts, thrill treasure hunters, and push collectors into a frenzy of searching through old buckets, jars, and dusty boxes because they know that 1982 was not a normal year for pennies. It was a year of confusion, change, experimentation, and transition at the United States Mint, where officials made a historic shift from bronze pennies to copper-plated zinc cents, a decision that led to multiple varieties being produced, including small-date copper, large-date copper, small-date zinc, large-date zinc, and additional subvariations that only the sharpest eyes can detect. And this overlapping production created gaps and inconsistencies that experts still debate, especially because both Philadelphia and Denver facilities minted these varieties, meaning that the potential for crossover errors and unintentional blends of materials grew higher than ever. And among all these varieties there are whispers of ultra-rare coins, those struck on the wrong planchet, those created when leftover bronze blanks slipped into the presses during early production runs, and those that display features so unusual that collectors believe only a handful may exist in the entire world, which is why the 1982 penny has become one of the most talked about, researched, and hyped coins in numismatic lore, with stories circulating about unidentified mismatched weights, mistruck lettering, double digits, off-center impressions, and metal inconsistencies that could push certain specimens into the realm of mythical value. Because when one coin displays a transitional error where the metal does not match the date, or the design does not match the expected specifications, it becomes a once-in-a-generation masterpiece worth whatever the highest bidder is willing to pay. And it is this combination of mystery and possibility that fuels the claim that the rarest 1982 1-cent coin could theoretically command $148 million at auction. An astronomical figure driven not only by rarity but also by collector psychology, media mythology, and the idea that owning a one-of-a-kind transitional error creates a legacy unlike any other. So when people talk about the 1982 small-date copper penny as the Holy Grail, they are referring to the known variety that weighs approximately 3.11 grams, a weight that instantly sets it apart from its zinc counterparts which weigh about 2.5 grams. And this weight difference becomes crucial when identifying errors because if a coin is dated 1982 but weighs the wrong amount for its design and mint variety, then something extraordinary happened during its production. And this is where the legend grows, as some collectors speculate that a Denver-minted 1982 small-date copper penny exists even though official records state that no such coin should have been minted, which only intensifies the excitement surrounding potential discoveries. And while some claim examples have surfaced, debates continue, adding to the aura and mystery that drives value speculation to unbelievable heights. Meanwhile, other rare anomalies come from double die errors where parts of the coin show doubling, especially in the date or lettering, creating a visually striking effect that collectors love. And further variations include coins struck slightly off-center, coins with weak strikes, coins showing die cracks or cuds, and coins that were struck using worn dies resulting in ghostly, distorted images that carry unique character. And each of these errors can dramatically increase the desirability and price of the coin, yet the biggest fascination remains with the transitional errors, especially those produced during the shift from copper to zinc because the mint switched metals in the middle of 1982 rather than the end of the year, meaning that thousands of earlier and later runs overlapped, creating confusion and opening the door to mistakes that went unnoticed until collectors later examined them using precision scales and magnification tools. And this mixture of uncertainty and variety fuels speculation that a handful of 1982 pennies may possess metal compositions or structural errors so rare that their value surpasses all previously recorded penny sales. And even if no formal auction has reached such a figure, The theoretical value attributed by collectors and analysts sparks viral interest because people dream of finding a life-changing coin hiding in plain sight, and the idea that a single penny could carry a price tag large enough to rival diamonds, fine art, or historic artifacts is what pushes these stories into trending territory where viewers rush to watch videos, share posts, and search their own collections hoping to uncover a fortune. And the legend of the 1982 penny continues to spread because the year itself was marked by complexity. 8 recognized varieties, 2 metals, 2 mint locations, multiple dies, overlapping production runs, and countless opportunities for the unexpected to occur, which is why this coin remains a favorite among treasure hunters who love the thrill of searching for that one piece that stands out from the rest. And even though many people may never find one of the ultra-rare variations, the excitement of possibility keeps them looking, checking weights, analyzing dates, and learning the subtle differences between small and large dates where the number 2 curves differently, the 8 sits differently, the spacing between digits shifts slightly, and the overall shape of the date changes, and identifying these details becomes a skill that improves with every coin examined, adding another layer of satisfaction to the hunt. And as the hype surrounding rare pennies continues to grow online, especially through videos and social media reels where creators highlight eye-catching values and dramatic price claims, more people are inspired to search their household change, creating a wave of enthusiasm that turns a simple coin into a symbol of hidden treasure. And while the debate over the true maximum value of the rarest 1982 penny continues, the theoretical figure of $148 million captures the imagination because it reflects not only monetary worth, but also the cultural impact of a rare error coin that challenges expectations and inspires millions to look deeper into something they once ignored, reminding everyone that history, mistakes, craftsmanship, and timing can transform an everyday object into a priceless artifact. And as collectors continue the hunt, the 1982 penny will remain a powerful example of how a small detail can spark massive excitement. And as always, if you enjoy learning about rare coins, fascinating minting errors, and the endless possibilities hidden inside ordinary change, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another discovery. Next, 1983 D1 cent USA coin. Imagine holding an ordinary-looking penny in your hand and realizing that this tiny piece of metal, the one you might have tossed aside without a second thought, could secretly be worth $149 million. A value so outrageous and historic that it surpasses nearly every rare coin legend you have ever heard. And today we are diving into the incredible, mysterious, and mind-bending world of the 1983 D1 cent coin. A coin that has gripped collectors, inspired treasure hunters, and sparked viral conversations because of the unusual errors, anomalies, and minting oddities that make this particular year at the Denver Mint one of the most fascinating chapters in American numismatic history, especially since 1983 came immediately after one of the most chaotic transitions in U.S. cent production, where the mint switched from traditional copper-based pennies to copper-plated zinc cents, a shift that opened the door to mistakes, leftover planchets, metal inconsistencies, and transitional confusion that experts still analyze and debate. And the 1983 D penny stands as one of the most complex examples because it is surrounded by rumors of wrong planchet errors, double dies, striking anomalies, and composition mysteries that have made collectors wonder whether a once-in-a-lifetime specimen exists. One so rare and unprecedented that its theoretical value has reached the unbelievable figure of $149 million. A number driven not just by scarcity, but by the mythology, excitement, and cultural impact that this coin has generated over the decades since its release. When we talk about the 1983 D penny, we are talking about a coin that was produced during a period of instability, confusion, and rapid adaptation at the mint, a time when officials were rushing to adjust machinery, calibrate die sets, update metal supplies, and test new processes, which naturally increased the probability of small yet costly mistakes slipping into circulation, mistakes that today fuel the dreams of collectors who imagine finding a specimen that defies all expectations. Among the most talked about possibilities is the legendary 1983 D bronze transitional error, a coin that, according to mint documentation, should not exist because all 1983 pennies were supposed to be struck on copper-plated zinc planchets weighing around 2.5 grams. Yet the existence of a 1983 bronze cent from the Philadelphia Mint, a confirmed rarity weighing roughly 3.1 grams, proves that leftover copper planchets did accidentally enter the presses that year, raising the possibility that the Denver Mint could have experienced the same oversight, and if even one 1983 D penny was struck on a bronze planchet instead of a zinc one, that coin would instantly become one of the rarest and most valuable transitional errors ever discovered, which is why collectors obsessively weigh their 1983 D pennies, hoping to find one that breaks the rules. Beyond metal composition mysteries, the 1983 D penny is also associated with the famous double die reverse error found in its Philadelphia counterpart, where the lettering, particularly 1 cent and United States of America, appears bold and doubled under magnification. While an identical confirmed double die reverse has not been verified for the Denver version, collectors believe that such a variety could exist, given that dies were sometimes shipped between facilities or reused during emergency production, and the mere possibility of a double die 1983 D penny keeps the numismatic world buzzing because if a dramatic doubling error were ever discovered, especially one clearly visible without magnification, the value would skyrocket far beyond typical auction results, potentially entering 8-figure or even theoretical 9-figure territory as speculative hype and rarity converge. Additional error types rumored to exist for the 1983 D penny include off-center strikes, broadstrikes, misaligned dies, die cracks forming dramatic raised lines across Lincoln's portrait, over-polished dies that erase fine details, and struck-through errors where debris on the die leaves an imprint on the coin's surface. Each of these errors adds layers to the coin's appeal, though none match the unprecedented excitement surrounding transitional and double die possibilities, which is why many collectors consider the 1983 D penny one of the most undervalued yet potentially explosive coins in modern history. What makes this coin even more captivating is the cultural and emotional value associated with the era in which it was minted, as many Americans remember the early 1980s as a time of economic shifts, rising metal costs, inflation concerns, and major changes in everyday currency. And when a coin reflects a moment of national transition, it gains meaning beyond monetary worth, becoming a piece of history that captures the essence of an era. The Denver Mint in 1983, known for its efficiency and high output volume, produced billions of pennies. Yet despite this massive production, the idea that an ultra-rare mistake could hide among the countless ordinary cents only fuels the treasure-hunting spirit in collectors, who know that rarity often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to notice the difference. When people discuss the theoretical value of $149 million, they are referring to the potential that the rarest possible 1983 D penny, a coin displaying a perfect storm of anomalies, could attract a once-in-history bid, driven by wealthy collectors who crave exclusivity, competition, and the thrill of owning something no one else has ever seen or will ever see again. While no such auction has occurred, the hypothetical value grows online as creators highlight the dramatic possibilities, weaving the story of the 1983 D penny into a viral trend that inspires millions to search their change jars, inspect their old collections, and share their findings with the hope of discovering a numismatic miracle. The Denver Mint's distinctive D mint mark on the 1983 penny adds another element of excitement because collectors often associate mint marks with rarity, and they know that the smallest detail, a slightly misplaced mint mark, a repunched mark where the D was stamped twice, or a filled mint mark caused by debris, can dramatically influence value, and these variations are known to occur in high-speed minting environments where dies wear down, break, or clog unexpectedly, creating subtle differences that become prized by those who understand their significance. Even more intriguing is the way the 1983 D penny sits at the intersection of two major design and composition eras in American currency, serving as a symbol of change, adaptation, and imperfection, and coins from transitional periods are almost always the most valuable because they capture mistakes that would not have occurred under stable conditions, which is why collectors look at transitional years such as 1909, 1917, 1943, 1955, 1982, and 1983 as treasure-filled seasons. The 1983 D penny continues to rise in relevance because social media has magnified the power of numismatic storytelling, turning once-niche discussions into viral global conversations where enthusiasts compare varieties, share magnified images, and debate the authenticity of unusual specimens. and the thrill of potentially finding a $1 million error transforms coin collecting from a quiet hobby into a worldwide treasure hunt filled with excitement and possibility. As you listen to the stories, examine your own coins, and follow every twist in the search for the perfect 1983D anomaly, remember that the value of a coin is shaped not only by metal, condition, and rarity, but also by the narrative surrounding it, the emotional connection people feel when they discover something extraordinary, and the sense of mystery that surrounds minting errors, mystery that turns even the smallest details into potential gold mines. The 1983D penny, with all its rumors, unexplained inconsistencies, and endlessly debated possibilities, stands as one of the most compelling examples of how a coin becomes more than currency. It becomes a legend, a symbol of hope for treasure seekers, and a driving force behind one of the most passionate collector communities in the world. And as long as people continue to believe in the possibility that a groundbreaking, never-before-seen specimen exists, the myth of the $149 million penny will live on, inspiring more searches, more discoveries, and more viral excitement. So if you love rare coins, hidden treasures, and the thrill of uncovering secrets in everyday objects, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another story that might change your life. Next, 1996 D1 cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting deep dive into the thrilling world of rare coins where hidden treasures, unbelievable discoveries, and shocking values continue to amaze collectors and everyday people alike. And today we are exploring one of the most mind-blowing stories ever connected to a modern Lincoln cent as we unravel the incredible tale of the 1996 D1 cent coin that enthusiasts claim could be worth an astounding $150 million because of a combination of unusual errors, mysterious minting anomalies, unexpected variations, and rare possibilities that make this particular Denver-minted penny one of the most talked-about coins in modern American numismatic history. And as we break down every strange detail, every reported mistake, and every hypothetical scenario that fuels this mammoth valuation, you will discover why the 1996 D penny has captured the imagination of collectors who believe that something truly extraordinary may be hiding in this otherwise common year of production. When we examine the 1996 D penny, we must begin by noting that the Denver Mint produced billions of coins that year, meaning that a massive volume pushed the minting machinery to its limits, increasing the likelihood of errors, misstrikes, die damage, and mechanical wear. And whenever large quantities are produced under high pressure, there is always a chance of rare mistakes slipping through unnoticed, and those rare mistakes can become priceless treasures decades later when collectors realize the significance of something that once appeared insignificant. Among the many possibilities that make the 1996 D penny especially intriguing, one of the most discussed scenarios involves the potential for a dramatic double die error where parts of the design, such as the date, the mint mark, the motto, or Lincoln's profile, appear doubled due to misalignment between the dies during striking. Such errors are extremely popular among collectors, especially when the doubling is strong enough to be seen without magnification, and if a boldly doubled 1996 D cent were ever discovered, its value could skyrocket instantly, especially because major double dies in later decades are far less common than those in the mid-20th century. Another major area of speculation involves die deterioration, which happens when a die becomes overused during the minting process, causing coins to show abnormal distortions, soft details, or raised metal formations known as die breaks or die cracks. A dramatic die break can form what collectors call a cud, a raised blob of metal that disrupts part of the design, and such large cuds can make a coin extremely desirable because they represent a moment of machinery failure that was never meant to reach the public. And for the 1996 D penny, reports of die cracks around Lincoln's forehead, the rim above the word Liberty, and the reverse design near the Lincoln Memorial have circulated for years, and while most of these cracks are minor, the possibility of a massive unrecorded cud from this year continues to excite collectors who speculate that an extreme example could command a historic value. Furthermore, the 1996 D penny falls into a period when the mint was dealing with increasingly worn equipment, fluctuating production quality, and experiments in die polishing and resurfacing, which sometimes led to over-polished dies that removed small but noticeable details from the design, such as missing initials or smoothed-out features. A coin showing a dramatic loss of important design elements due to excessive die polishing could become extremely rare and highly valuable because it demonstrates a mistake in minting maintenance that was never meant to be seen in finished currency. Another compelling possibility revolves around planchet errors, which occur when the metal blank used to strike the coin is damaged, improperly mixed, clipped, or contaminated before striking. Clipped planchets may show missing curved sections, improperly mixed metals may cause unusual discoloration or density, and some planchets may have been improperly plated, causing zinc to appear through the copper in unexpected patterns. And although 1996 cents are primarily zinc-based with a thin copper coating, anomalies such as incomplete copper plating, exposed zinc streaks, or on rare occasions experimental metal blends can lead to coins becoming extremely desirable. The most legendary possibility, however, is the hypothetical existence of a 1996 penny struck on a foreign planchet, a metal blank belonging to another country's coin that accidentally entered the production cycle. Such errors have occurred in earlier and later years, leading to coins struck on dime planchets, foreign alloy blanks, or off-metal combinations that dramatically shift the weight and appearance of the coin. And if a 1996 penny exists with a completely unexpected metal composition, collectors believe it could become one of the most valuable modern era coins in history, potentially reaching the mythical valuation of $150 million due to its unrivaled rarity, public intrigue, and historical significance. Another fascinating element surrounding the 1996 penny involves mintmark anomalies, particularly the possibility of a repunched mintmark where the D was stamped more than once during the die preparation process, creating a shadow or layered appearance. And although modern mint marks are typically applied using computerized methods, transitional inconsistencies, retooling, and occasional mechanical irregularities have produced repunched marks even in the 1990s, and such an anomaly could significantly increase the coin's value if it were dramatic enough to stand out clearly. Beyond mechanical and metal-related errors, some collectors focus on strike quality for potential value, because weak strikes, where parts of the design appear faint due to low pressure, combine rarity with visual uniqueness, and in some cases, a coin may show a partial collar error where the metal expands outward during striking instead of being properly contained, creating a wider or railroad rim appearance. And these errors, especially when combined with other anomalies, dramatically raise a coin's worth. But what truly fuels the massive valuation of the mythical $150 million 1996 penny is the combination of error potential, public excitement, rarity speculation, and viral storytelling that continues to grow online, as creators highlight the endless possibilities and encourage collectors to search their coin jars, desk drawers, and old savings containers because the thrill of possibly discovering a once-in-a-lifetime error keeps the enthusiasm alive. In addition, many people overlook modern pennies, assuming only older dates can hold significant value, which makes the discovery of rare errors from the 1980s and 1990s even more electrifying, since they challenge assumptions and prove that valuable treasures do not only come from ancient or early minting periods, but also from recent decades where billions of coins circulated freely without inspection. The 1996 penny's colossal theoretical value is also driven by the idea that if the rarest possible combination of errors were discovered, such as a strong double die, a foreign planchet, a repunched mint mark, and a dramatic die break all on a single coin, it would create a one-of-a-kind masterpiece that no collector could resist, and wealthy bidders, museums, and investors would compete fiercely to obtain it, pushing the price into history-making territory. As more people continue to search for rare coins, the 1996 penny stands as a symbol of the excitement hidden in everyday change, reminding everyone that extraordinary discoveries can come from the most ordinary places, and that the thrill of numismatics lies not only in rarity but in curiosity, exploration, and the joy of uncovering secrets in the smallest details. Whether discussing misstrikes, die damage, planchet flaws, plating problems, or unexplained anomalies, the 1996 penny remains at the center of countless conversations in both expert circles and online communities, inspiring treasure hunters everywhere to look more closely, study more carefully, and never underestimate what a simple penny can become. And if you enjoy learning about rare coins, incredible mistakes, and life-changing finds, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never Miss another story that could reveal a hidden fortune. Next, 1997 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to a brand new deep dive into the world of rare coins where everyday pocket change transforms into unbelievable treasure. And today we are exploring one of the most astonishing and highly speculated modern coins in United States numismatic history, as we uncover the incredible story behind the 1997 1-cent coin that collectors claim could reach an extraordinary value of $151 million due to a combination of mysterious minting errors, striking anomalies, composition irregularities, and extremely rare possibilities that have captured the imagination of treasure hunters across the world. And as we break down every detail, every rumor, and every realistic scenario that could justify such a mind-blowing value, you will discover why the 1997 penny continues to spark viral conversations, excite collectors, and inspire everyday people to examine their own change with renewed curiosity, because sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins are the ones hiding the biggest secrets. The story begins with the fact that the 1997 penny was part of a period in U.S. minting where billions of coins were produced annually using incredibly high-speed machinery that created perfect conditions for unnoticed errors, dye deterioration, metal contamination, and mechanical stress. And in these circumstances, even the slightest misalignment or flaw could create a rare and potentially priceless coin that slips into circulation without anyone realizing its incredible future value. Many collectors believe that the 1997 penny could harbor one of the most valuable modern errors ever discovered, especially considering the number of mechanical and structural issues documented throughout the 1990s when equipment was aging, dyes were reused for long runs, and the mint was continuously adjusting for metal composition consistency in the copper-plated zinc sense introduced in 1982. And any disruption to this delicate process had the potential to create coins with unexpected and extraordinary traits. Among the most exciting possibilities is a dramatic double die error, which occurs when the die used for striking the coin shifts or rotates slightly between impressions during its creation, resulting in doubled features on the finished coin. And if the doubling appears on the date, the motto, Lincoln's profile, or especially the reverse lettering, such as 1 cent or United States of America, the coin could command massive value because strong double dies from the late 20th century are incredibly rare and highly sought after, and the discovery of a bold double die for the 1997 cent could spark a bidding war unlike anything seen in decades. Another major factor that adds to the coin's value speculation involves severe die cracks and cuts, which form when the die starts to break or fracture. As a result, raised lines or blobs of extra metal appear on the coin, distorting the design and creating unique patterns that collectors love. And while minor cracks are somewhat common, a large dramatic cut, one that removes part of the design entirely, could turn a 1997 penny into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece worth unimaginable amounts, especially if it affects critical areas like the lettering, Lincoln's portrait, or the memorial building on the reverse. Additionally, the 1997 penny exists during a time when die polishing errors were more frequent, and overpolishing sometimes removed key design details such as the initials near Lincoln's shoulder or the finer lines in the memorial structure. These missing detail errors can become extremely valuable if the removal is significant enough to stand out clearly, and collectors constantly search for coins where mint technicians unknowingly erased parts of the design while attempting to extend the life of worn dies. Planchet errors add another layer of fascination because the copper-plated zinc construction of modern pennies is more prone to flaws than the older bronze alloys. Defects such as incomplete plating, exposed zinc bubbles, pitted surfaces caused by contamination, or plating blisters can all create visually striking and unusual coins. And while most of these errors are minor, extreme cases, such as coins with massive plating bubbles that distort Lincoln's face or cause reverse lettering to bulge, can be extremely rare and valuable. However, the most electrifying and potentially historic scenario involves the possibility that a handful of 1997 pennies were struck on foreign planchets or blanks intended for another denomination. And although this has not been documented officially for this year, similar errors have occurred frequently in other modern minting periods, leading to cents struck on dime planchets, experimental alloys, or blanks from international contracts. And if even one 1997 penny exists on the wrong metal, weighing significantly more or less than the standard copper-plated zinc planchet, its value could be astronomical, possibly pushing its worth into legendary nine-figure territory. especially if its rarity is confirmed as unique. Another important factor comes from the mint mark itself, because collectors know that modern pennies occasionally show repunched mint marks, filled mint marks caused by grease or debris, or misplaced mint marks due to minor die shifts. Even though mint marks in the 1990s were typically applied using more advanced processes, mechanical inconsistencies and die fatigue still produced unusual effects, and a dramatic repunched D on a 1997 penny could be a highly prized discovery capable of commanding a massive premium at auction. Additional striking errors such as broadstrikes, off-center strikes, partial collar strikes, and misaligned dies also play significant roles in the 1997 penny's growing mystique. For example, an off-center strike that leaves a large portion of the blank surface visible while still displaying the date and mint mark could be extremely valuable, especially if the coin remains in high grade, and a dramatic broad strike without collar support could produce a wide, warped penny that stands out immediately to collectors. What adds another layer of excitement is the fact that the late 1990s saw increasing production pressures at the Denver Mint, which was responsible for producing billions of coins per year, and this high-speed environment created the perfect conditions for rare mistakes because the faster the machinery runs, the more likely it is to produce misalignment, incomplete strikes, or debris-filled dies that imprint unexpected patterns on the coin's surface. And every one of these possibilities creates the foundation for a story of a coin that could theoretically reach the astonishing value of $151 million in a once-in-a-lifetime auction scenario. Beyond the technical errors, the cultural impact of modern coin collecting plays a major role in the viral hype surrounding coins like the 1997 penny, as millions of people follow videos, online posts, and community discussions that highlight the excitement of searching ordinary change for extraordinary finds, and the idea that a simple penny from the 1990s could secretly be a multimillion-dollar treasure adds to the thrill, encouraging more and more people to dig through their old jars, shoeboxes, and drawers in hopes of discovering something that will change their lives forever. The value grows not just from rarity but from anticipation, speculation, and the emotional connection people have to the idea of discovering hidden treasure in everyday objects. And when a coin becomes part of viral storytelling, its fame and theoretical value rise dramatically because collectors and investors alike want to be part of the excitement. This is why the 1997 penny has cemented itself as one of the most intriguing modern cents, combining real minting possibilities with the thrill of speculation, making people wonder whether a truly extraordinary specimen exists out there somewhere waiting to be found. And even if no official auction has reached such a staggering figure, the belief that a perfect storm of errors, such as a foreign planchet, dramatic doubling, massive cud, off-center strike, and mint mark anomaly all appearing on one unique coin, could push its theoretical maximum value to $151 million continues to fuel the worldwide search. As collectors, enthusiasts, and treasure hunters keep examining their coins and sharing discoveries, the legend of the 1997 penny grows stronger, reminding everyone that sometimes the rarest treasures are hiding in plain sight. And if you enjoy exploring the world of rare coins, discovering incredible minting mistakes, and learning about the unbelievable possibilities hidden inside everyday change, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another story that could uncover a life-changing find. Next, 1998 D1 cent USA coin. Today, as we dive into one of the most surprising and fascinating stories in the world of rare coins, where ordinary-looking cents can hide extraordinary secrets that may change the way collectors, hobbyists, and treasure hunters view the coins sitting in their drawers, jars, pockets, and old storage boxes. And today's focus is on the 1998 D1 cent coin that some people believe could reach an astronomical value of $152 million because of the combination of unusual mint errors, production anomalies, surprising die mistakes, and rare conditions that influence the coin's desirability, creating a thrilling narrative for anyone who wants to explore the possibility that a small copper-colored piece of metal minted decades ago could hold life-changing value. So let us explore it step by step as we discuss why the 1998 D penny has captured so much imagination, what types of errors are commonly associated with Lincoln cents from the late 1990s, how the Denver Mint's production process may have introduced unexpected variations, and what kinds of extraordinary features collectors look for when evaluating claims about a coin being worth more than entire mansions and luxury estates. because even though most 1998D pennies are indeed common and worth only face value, the idea that rare and dramatic minting mistakes could theoretically push a coin into unbelievable price ranges creates excitement, curiosity, and a deep interest in examining every detail, from the rim to the lettering to the portrait to the Lincoln Memorial and beyond, which is exactly why videos like this are so engaging for viewers all around the world who love hearing about hidden treasures in plain sight. The 1998D penny came during a decade when the United States Mint was transitioning through different technological stages, and this period of high-volume production sometimes resulted in unexpected misstrikes or die deterioration that could produce unusual variations, and those variations, when extreme and unique, can become incredibly valuable to collectors who value rarity above all else. However, for any coin to be worth such a staggering hypothetical amount like $152 million, the error would have to be something far beyond simple doubling or minor die cracks. It would need to be a monumental, undisputed, one-of-a-kind mistake that fundamentally alters the design or makes the coin a historical anomaly unlike anything else produced in that year. And while such extreme scenarios are rare, the possibility that an unknown specimen could exist drives collectors to look closely for errors such as off-center strikes, dramatic broadstrikes, wrong planchet strikes, die caps, striking over foreign objects, or major misalignments that can transform a common cent into something extraordinary. When studying the 1998D penny, people often look for doubling on the date, mint mark, or legend, paying close attention to the digits because strong double dies are some of the most famous and valuable kinds of mistakes. And although most doubling found on coins from the late 1990s is machine doubling, which is flat and shelf-like, true hub doubling creates thicker, more pronounced, and more desirable features that can significantly raise a coin's value when authenticated. So the idea of a dramatic double die on a 1998D cent fuels speculation, interest, and collectible excitement. Another area of focus is the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, especially the lines of the columns, the statue inside, and the lettering around the rim, because strike pressure inconsistencies can create distortions that some collectors mistakenly believe to be valuable errors, although experts know that only genuine, significant departures from the intended design, caused by die defects or striking mistakes, qualify as major errors. Still, the fascination with these features encourages many people to inspect their 1998D pennies under magnification to look for anything unusual that might suggest something truly rare. In addition, die cracks, die chips, and cuds are among the most talked about minor errors, where metal fills gaps created by breaks in the die, forming raised bumps or extensions on the finished coin, and while these are usually common, a massive or unusually placed cud, especially one that obscures major details, could theoretically create a unique variety that excites collectors, raising the possibility of high value if the coin is an extreme outlier. Therefore, the idea that a massive die break on a 1998D coin could spark a bidding frenzy is another reason why some enthusiasts imagine extraordinary values associated with this date. Planchet errors are another significant category, particularly when the wrong metal is used, because the United States Mint historically produced coins in different metals depending on the year, and a coin struck on a planchet meant for another denomination or another composition can be worth huge amounts. For example, if a 1998D cent were struck accidentally on a dime planchet, a foreign planchet, or a leftover transitional metal blank, the resulting coin could indeed be extremely valuable, making the idea that a hypothetical wrong planchet strike could reach stunning heights a captivating thought for collectors who dream of finding a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Off-center strikes are also widely examined, and dramatic off-center errors, especially those with both the date and mint mark visible, are among the most valuable error types for coins of any era, because they offer obvious visual impact and undeniable rarity. So if a 1998D penny exists with a massive off-center strike that still clearly shows the date and mint mark, collectors could be willing to pay extraordinary amounts for it, contributing to the mythic narrative of a coin reaching staggering values. Another possibility involves multiple strikes, where a coin is struck more than once either intentionally due to a mechanical malfunction or unintentionally due to the coin not ejecting correctly. And when these multiple strikes overlap or create dramatic distortions, the coin becomes a breathtaking example of minting chaos, and such extreme errors are among the rarest and most desirable, adding yet another layer of imagination when enthusiasts speculate about what kind of 1998D error could hypothetically reach $152 million. Beyond physical errors, collectors also value coins with exceptionally high grades, especially those graded at the top of the mint state scale, because flawless or near-flawless coins with perfect surfaces, crisp details, strong strikes, and untouched luster are highly sought after. However, even a perfect mint state 1998 D penny would not realistically reach such astronomical values unless it also contained extraordinary errors or was connected to a historical event. But the enthusiasm around gem condition coins encourages many people to carefully examine their scents under bright lighting to identify even the slightest flaws that may impact value. In rare coin storytelling, imagination plays a huge role in capturing interest, which is why discussing the theoretical maximum values of coins excites audiences, inspiring them to search through their change, examine family coin collections, and stay alert for any unusual details that others might overlook, because the world of numismatics is filled with legends of incredible finds that began with ordinary people taking a closer look at everyday coins. This excitement creates a sense of adventure, possibility, and discovery that keeps collectors engaged for years. The idea of a 1998 D penny reaching $152 million encourages thinking about the extreme conditions that would justify such a valuation, such as an error so catastrophic that it completely transforms the design, a minting mistake involving rare equipment failure, or an extraordinary historical context. And although such scenarios are extraordinarily rare, they spark the imagination and inspire greater interest in coin collecting. When discussing value, it is also important to emphasize that authentication is essential, because only certified experts can determine whether a coin contains genuine mint errors or simply post-mint damage. And collectors understand that professional evaluation is the foundation of accurate pricing. Nevertheless, the excitement of imagining spectacular finds, combined with the fun of exploring the smallest details of coins, fuels the passion that brings people to channels like this, where stories of rare coins create anticipation, curiosity, and enjoyment. As we explore the possibilities surrounding the 1998 D1 cent coin, we celebrate not only the potential for incredible value but also the thrill of the hunt that keeps collectors motivated and connected to the rich history of United States coinage, encouraging everyone watching to look closely at their own coins and appreciate the artistry, complexity, and mystery behind even the smallest denomination in their pocket. Because every coin carries a story, and some stories, whether confirmed or hypothetical, add magic and wonder to the search for treasures hiding in plain sight. Next, 2008 D1 cent USA coin. Today we are exploring the fascinating and highly discussed 2008 D1 cent coin that some people imagine could reach a staggering value of $153 million because of hypothetical, extremely dramatic errors, and mysterious minting possibilities that fuel excitement among enthusiasts, collectors, treasure hunters, and anyone who loves hearing about the chance that small, everyday items might secretly hold massive fortunes. The 2008 D penny emerged from a period of enormous mint production, which means billions of coins were struck by the Denver Mint, and any time the mint deals with such high output, the chances of mistakes, whether mild, moderate, or extreme, become part of the story, encouraging collectors to examine the details closely, especially when unusual features appear on the portrait, the lettering, the mint mark, or the Lincoln Memorial design, because every small deviation from perfection may raise questions about how the coin was struck, what might have gone wrong during production, and whether the resulting error could make it uniquely valuable. As we begin exploring why the 2008 D penny has sparked such curiosity, it is important to understand that most pennies from this year are extremely common and worth only face value. However, the exciting part of coin collecting lies not in the ordinary examples but in the rare, dramatic, and visually striking error coins that the mint never intended to create, because errors of such magnitude are what drive the imagination to astonishing price ranges that would seem impossible for a coin of such low denomination, and this is why enthusiasts speculate about the types of mistakes that could theoretically result in a 2008 D cent fetching $153 million if the error were so spectacular, so unique, and so important to numismatic history that collectors around the world would be willing to fight for ownership. When analyzing the kinds of errors that could give this coin extraordinary value, double die errors are always at the top of the list, because they are among the most famous and desirable mint mistakes, and collectors often spend hours examining the date, mint mark, and lettering for signs of strong, thick, well-separated doubling. True hub doubling creates design elements that appear bold, layered, and unmistakably different from normal examples, and such errors can command extremely high prices at auction, especially when they occur on coins that were meant for mass circulation. So if a dramatic double die existed on a 2008 penny, one far beyond the mild machine doubling commonly found on modern cents, it could theoretically reach a valuation so extraordinary that people would compare it to the most valuable coins ever sold. Another area of minting where errors can significantly increase value involves the planchet, which is the blank piece of metal that becomes the coin. Wrong planchet errors are among the rarest and most desirable mistakes because they indicate a major breakdown in the mint's sorting, handling, or feeding processes, and if a 2008 penny were accidentally struck on a dime planchet, a foreign planchet, or an older composition planchet that should not have been used in that year, it could instantly become worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands, and the idea of a completely unprecedented, dramatic wrong planchet strike, perhaps involving an alloy never intended for cent production, adds to the imagination surrounding the hypothetical megavalue some enthusiasts discuss. Off-center strikes are another category that sparks interest, especially when they are dramatic, visually obvious, and show both the date and mint mark despite the misalignment. Collectors love errors that combine rarity and clear presentation because they make it easy to prove authenticity and provide immediate visual impact, and an off-center strike that is so extreme it nearly creates a crescent-shaped coin, yet still shows the date, could command significant value, especially if it were combined with additional errors such as multiple strikes or unusual die deterioration. Speaking of die deterioration, die cracks, die chips, and cuds represent another fascinating group of errors in which pieces of the die break away or become damaged, causing raised bumps, lines, or missing design features on the struck coin. While small die cracks are common and usually not valuable, massive cuds, especially those that cover large sections of the rim or lettering, can be rare and extremely collectible, and a 2008 penny with an enormous, perfectly formed cud covering a major portion of the design could excite collectors to the point of bidding wars, because such errors are dramatic and unmistakably the result of serious die failure. Multiple strikes, where the coin receives two or more impressions from the dies due to ejection failure or unexpected mechanical malfunction, can create some of the most spectacular and visually stunning errors known, because overlapping designs, distorted portraits, doubled outlines, and misaligned impressions transform the coin into a bizarre and fascinating piece of numismatic art. If a 2008 penny were struck multiple times in a dramatic and highly irregular pattern, the resulting coin could become one of the most desirable modern error cents ever discovered. Another potential category involves mintmark anomalies, although by 2008 all mintmarks were added to the dies rather than punched by hand, so traditional repunched mintmarks no longer occur. Still, certain die polishing issues, hub doubling involving the mintmark, or distortions caused during hubbing could theoretically create a visually unusual mintmark that collectors might consider an exciting variety, and such variations, when dramatic enough, can drive significant collector interest. Surface issues caused during production, such as improper annealing where the planchet fails to heat correctly, can lead to unusual coloring, mottling, or coating problems, and while many of these issues are minor, an extreme example that fundamentally alters the appearance of the coin in a dramatic and visually appealing way could attract collectors who specialize in rare production flaws, especially if the error is unique and well documented. Striking over foreign objects, known as strike-through errors, is another type of dramatic mistake where a piece of fabric, wire, metal fragment, plastic, grease, or other debris becomes lodged between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving an imprint on the coin. While most strike-through errors involve grease or small particles, a massive strike-through involving a large piece of material could create a bold, one-of-a-kind design distortion that might make a coin incredibly valuable to collectors who prize unusual and dramatic errors. Die misalignment, collar malfunctions, and broadstrikes are also categories that can significantly influence a coin's visual appeal and rarity, because when the collar, which helps form the rim and keep the coin perfectly round, fails during striking, the coin can expand, warp, or lose its defined edges, creating a visually stunning and very collectible error, and a dramatic broadstrike on a 2008 penny could easily excite collectors looking for rare mint mistakes. While discussing errors, it is also important to understand why the idea of a coin reaching such an unbelievable amount as $153 million captivates audiences. It is not because such values are realistic, but because the concept encourages people to look closely at their coins, appreciate the craftsmanship, learn the history of the mint, and understand how rare errors come into existence. The excitement of imagining what a theoretical ultra-error could look like fuels curiosity and helps viewers connect more deeply with the story of American coinage. In addition, collectors often analyze 2008 pennies in extremely high grades, because modern coins with perfect or near-perfect surfaces are highly desirable, even though grade alone would not justify astronomical values. Still, a perfect grade combined with an extraordinary, dramatic, and unique error could create a record-breaking coin, and this combination of rarity and condition is one of the reasons collectors remain eager to examine every detail of their 2008 cents. Another fascinating aspect is the fact that modern coins sometimes reveal overlooked varieties or errors years after their release, because millions of coins circulate without inspection, and only when collectors become aware of potential rare mistakes does a widespread search begin. This possibility keeps people motivated, as they hope to be the one who discovers a new, unique error that becomes famous in the numismatic world. As we explore the possibilities surrounding the 2008 penny, the mix of imagination, history, minting technology, production flaws, and collector passion creates a narrative that draws people in, encouraging them to examine their own coins with curiosity, patience, and excitement. After all, the joy of coin collecting is not only in the value but in the search itself, the thrill of discovering something unusual, and the knowledge that rare treasures sometimes hide in the most unexpected places, waiting to be found by someone who takes the time to look closely. Last 2012 1 cent USA coin. We dive into another incredible deep dive into the mysterious world of rare coins where tiny minting mistakes, overlooked variations, and unexpected anomalies can transform an ordinary 1 cent piece into a jaw-dropping treasure. And today we are discussing the intriguing case of the 2012 1 cent coin, a modern penny that collectors imagine could, under the most extraordinary and theoretically perfect circumstances, reach a speculative and attention-grabbing value of $154 million because of the possibility of extreme, dramatic, unprecedented mint errors and production mistakes that would make it unlike any other coin ever discovered. And although most 2012 pennies are extremely common, minted in the billions and worth exactly 1 cent, the fascination lies in imagining the kinds of monumental errors that could elevate one coin into the realm of legendary numismatic rarity, inspiring searches through pocket change, coin jars, and old collections where hidden treasures might be waiting for someone with a sharp eye and curiosity for details that others overlook. As we explore the hypothetical possibilities that could make a 2012 penny so valuable, it is important to understand that the Denver Mint in 2012 struck a massive number of coins as part of regular circulation demands, and any time production reaches such high levels, the chances of mechanical strain, die fatigue, feeder malfunctions, or unexpected debris entering the striking chamber increase, which opens the door, however slightly, to the creation of rare mint errors that collectors love to chase because they represent accidents frozen in metal, artifacts of machinery at work under intense pressure, and physical evidence of how the minting process sometimes deviates from perfection. Among the most coveted error types is the double die, where the design elements appear doubled because of imperfections during the die creation process. True double die errors can show bold, dramatic separation in the lettering, the date, Lincoln's profile, or the shield design on modern pennies, and if a 2012 coin exhibited a significant double die, far stronger and more dramatic than the usual mild mechanical doubling that plagues modern issues, it could easily draw national attention among collectors because modern double dies of major magnitude are extremely rare, and rarity is the single most important factor in determining value. Another category of errors that excites collectors involves wrong planchet strikes, which occur when the coin is accidentally struck on a blank meant for a completely different denomination or foreign currency. Such mistakes are incredibly rare in modern minting because of improved quality control, but they still happen occasionally, and if a 2012 penny were found struck on a copper-nickel dime planchet, a leftover bronze planchet from a previous era, or a mismatched metal blank that should not exist in 2012 production, it would immediately be considered one of the greatest modern error coins ever found and could theoretically reach astronomical value, especially if the weight, color, and thickness differed dramatically from normal specifications. Off-center strikes are another important type of error that collectors love because they are visually striking and easy to authenticate. While mild off-center errors are common, a dramatic off-center strike, especially one that is 50% or more off-center while still showing the date and mint mark, can be extremely rare and valuable, and if such an off-center strike on a 2012 D penny occurred in combination with another major error such as a double strike or wrong planchet strike, the coin would instantly become one of the most remarkable modern pennies ever minted. Speaking of double strikes, these occur when the coin receives more than one impression from the dies due to ejection failure or mechanical malfunction. Dramatic double strikes create overlap designs, distorted features, and unusual patterns that collectors find visually thrilling, and a 2012 D penny that shows a perfectly clear double strike, especially one with extreme misalignment between strikes, could easily become the center of intense collector interest because of its rarity and visual appeal. In addition to double strikes, die cracks, die chips, and cuds represent another significant group of errors where parts of the die break or wear down, causing raised metal lines, blobs, or missing chunks in the design. While small die chips are common and usually not valuable, enormous cuds covering major portions of the coin are rare and can command large prices, and a 2012 D penny with an unusually large and perfectly formed cud could attract significant attention among collectors who specialize in dramatic die failure errors because such cuds represent the moment a minting tool collapses under pressure, leaving behind a unique fingerprint of mechanical breakdown. Another fascinating category includes strike-through errors, where foreign objects such as cloth fibers, wire pieces, metal fragments, grease, or even small tools accidentally become lodged between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving an impression of the object on the surface of the coin. While grease-filled dies are relatively common and usually create weak or missing details, dramatic strike-throughs involving large, clear, and identifiable objects can be extremely valuable. And if a 2012 D penny exhibited a massive strike-through impression of something unusual, it could easily become a prized modern rarity. Broad strikes and collar malfunctions are also important error types that collectors love because they affect the shape and structure of the coin itself. When the collar fails during striking, the coin can spread outward, losing its rim and becoming wider and flatter than normal, and a dramatic broad strike on a modern penny can be visually striking, rare, and valuable, especially when paired with another major error that increases its uniqueness. Since the 2012 D penny features the Union Shield reverse design introduced in 2010, collectors also examine shield-related anomalies such as incomplete strikes, distorted lines, missing design elements, or unusual impressions due to weak pressure or debris obstructing the dies. Shield pennies have a distinct modern look, and any major distortion of the shield can become a point of fascination because it alters the meaning and symbolism of the design itself. Another important detail involves analyzing high-grade examples, because modern coins rarely survive in perfect condition once circulated. Although value alone does not justify astronomical prices, a perfect or near-perfect grade combined with an extraordinary error could break records and attract worldwide attention, especially in the age of online auctions where collectors across the globe can participate in bidding wars that drive prices to unimaginable levels. Modern collectors also pay close attention to edge anomalies, as unusual deformities such as partial rings, edge distortions, or incomplete rims sometimes occur due to mechanical issues during the striking process. Although edge damage from circulation is common, authentic mint-created edge errors are rare and can become valuable when paired with other mistakes that together create a unique combination not seen on other coins from the same year. Because 2012 is a relatively recent year, many people assume there is little value in modern pennies, but history has shown that extraordinary errors can appear in any year, and sometimes the most impressive discoveries come from decades where collectors initially assumed nothing special existed. This possibility fuels excitement among those who enjoy searching through modern rolls, and the idea that something rare could be hiding in a pile of everyday pocket change motivates collectors to keep looking. In addition, the transition to the shield reverse design brought several opportunities for new types of errors to emerge due to changes in die creation, hubbing stages, and striking dynamics, and some of these new style errors have already generated collector interest even when they are not extremely dramatic. So a truly extraordinary shield-era error would easily stand out as one of the most important modern mint mistakes ever discovered. Another interesting area involves the mintmark itself. Although traditional repunched mintmarks no longer exist because mintmarks are now part of the die rather than added separately, distortions caused during die polishing or hubbing could create unusual shapes or doubling effects that collectors might consider rare and important, especially if the distortion is bold and easily visible without magnification. as we explore the dramatic possibilities that collectors imagine when discussing how a 2012 penny could theoretically be valued at $154 million. We enter a world where mechanical failure, die breakdown, accidental planchet mixing, feeder problems, debris contamination, hubbing misalignments, and striking anomalies all come together to create the perfect storm of rarity, uniqueness, and visual impact. Even though such a coin has not surfaced, the fascination lies in the what if, the thrilling idea that someone, somewhere, might discover a once-in-a-lifetime error coin that rewrites modern numismatic history.